Hi everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Ohio, and I'm here to bring you a video I try to do on Tuesdays. Not been doing that as well because I have given up StreamYard, so therefore I do a Facebook video and then I try to do my YouTube video, and things really got in the way this week, so I didn't get that done. But I'm here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and do it and just do it and put it up into the videos. It's not a live video or anything, so I'm just going to record this real quick and then I'm going to put it up for you to see because I like to have something up there. But anyway, if you do not have a demonstrator and you like Stampin' Up! Products, I would love to be that demonstrator to help you with your orders and stuff, and my link in that is in the description below. And also, joining Stampin' Up! Is always a great opportunity. I love growing my team, and I'd love to have you join my team if you would want to do that. It's always a great deal at $99. You get to pick out $125 worth of free product that is also ships free. So you just have to pay the tax. If your state charges tax, you just have to pay the tax on that. And anyway, you can always contact me on that. And I can't even talk. I'm tongue-tied tonight. I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, it's just part of my life, I guess. But anyway, I am going to bring you a quick card. I just thought it was quick. It was cute. And just something simple. So I'm going to turn my camera down. And while I do that, if you guys don't mind to share my video when you see it, give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And also giving me a comment if you would like to let me know if you liked my video or not. I would love to hear your feedback. So let's go ahead and turn this camera around. So you're going to see my computer here in a minute. Whoops. If I hit the right button, you're going to see it. There we go. So let's just go down to here. I'm going to make sure I've got everything going good. And I'm also going to make sure that I have that I stay in focus. So I am putting that up on my computer so I can see it. Okay, everything looks good. Here's the card. You'll notice it is the same card. Few little difference, I can tell you. When I did blending brushes here, they're a little bit lighter than these circles. This bird is a little bit lighter than this bird. Flowers are placed just a little bit differently. Doesn't matter. It's your card. You do whatever you want. And I basically just go ahead and do the card. I don't particularly have to check everything out on it as I'm doing it to make it verbatim as the same. So what I've used in this is Country Birdhouse, and I've used this little bird here, which I think is the cutest little bird. I also used the die set from this Country Birdhouse, and I used these 5 flowers right here. And I used the leaves, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves that I used. And that way you can cut your pieces of different color cardstock into little pieces, put it on your platform of your embossing machine, and run everything through at the same time so you don't have to keep running things through. Now, I did take an extra leaf and I took it from the bow punch, and I just cut this leaf right here so I could add just a little bit more of the greenery to my card. And that's totally optional to you. I also use the second and third largest circles from my stylish dies to get my circles. And that is basically pretty much what I used, except for the embossing folder. Is called Dashing Designs, and I don't know if you can see it. I've already got it done. So here's the design of that. It has a lot of design to it, but yet it's kind of subtle in the ways of some of the other designs. So I really like it on the card. Let me show that to you real quick, and how that looks with the card. It just gives a nice background without it just being a stark white piece of cardstock. And sometimes when I'm not going to do anything with the cardstock that I'm just using as a base, I like to emboss it because it does give it dimension. So we are going to set these two aside right here. I'm going to tell you what I used, which isn't a lot. I used a piece of 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to push my camera up a little bit just so we have a little bit more room here. Let's scoot my computer back just a little. Okay, here we go. So I used 4 1/4 by 11 sheet of Petal Pink cardstock. I'm going to fold that in half, and I left my little, I use pot scrapers. I don't use bone folders, and that's just me. I have used bone folders, but I keep this at hand a lot. And I'm just going to make that nice and flat for my card. I am going to go ahead, and this is a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of basic white cardstock, and I ran it through the embossing folder already. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this on because we do not need it to be in our way. Don't need it in our way. So let's just add some glue. Haven't been using my one little glue gun from my, I don't know what's called, my Pretty Petunia, I don't know, whatever that company is. I haven't been using that because it's about out of glue and it stops up quite a bit. It's not, I don't like it as much as I thought I would like it, but it does make nice thin lines. So I got to fiddle with that and get it back to working. What I'm going to do now before we start anything else, I'm going to lay this back up out of my way. And this is another piece of 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of cardstock that I'm going to put on my inside. And here is a scrap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp our bird, our little bird, out of that stamp set. I'm going to stamp one. So I'm just going to ink it up good. And I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit so I can see it. And I'm going to stamp that right at the edge. And there he is, standing on the edge of the paper. And then I'm going to stamp this. Because we're going to cut it out, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it. And that way it will be ready to color. I love coloring. Do you guys like to color? I love to color. In fact, I think I'm going to be doing a class on different coloring ways to color here pretty soon. I've got some people wanting that, and I think it'll be a fun class to do. I just did one on Stamping 101, Back to the Basics. It was a fun class, but let me tell you, it was kind of hard for me because I've been stamping for so long. It's like, what's the basics, you know, because you get so used to it that you don't know, you know, you forget what the basics are. So it was a very fun class. I'm really glad I did it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some Stampin' Blends. As soon as I can get them out of my little container over here. I'm going to use the dark petal peach, I think it's dark, no, it's light peach pie, and the light and dark pool party. And I'm going to color my birds, and I'll color these two birds at the same time. So I'm going to take my dark first, as soon as I can get the lid off. And I'm just going to kind of go around where my little feathers are, and around his belly a little bit. So I'm going to do that on both birds. I might as well color them both at the same time. Saves opening and closing these Stampin' Blends, which are sometimes hard to do, in my opinion. So there we go. We have our little birds. Got the dark one. Now I'm going to take the light peach pie, and I'm just going to do his little feet and his beak. Give him just a little bit of color. There we go. Then I'm going to bring in the light. I'm going to have to use the other end. Look at my end. It's about dried up. I tend to really use my blends and get them all messed up. I'm heavy-handed, and that's not good all the time. But, you know, it is what it is. If you like to color, you just go ahead and you color and you don't worry about it. As long as you don't have to buy all the colors at one time, you're doing good. But you do have to replace your colors as the tips kind of either get bad if you're like heavy-handed like me, or you just use them so much that you run out of ink. And I'm going to open this dark one, and I'm just going to kind of go around some of these little, his feathers again to kind of darken those up. I didn't do a lot of blending here because he's so little, but I did enough to kind of showcase him. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this piece, our inside piece, and we're going to glue it on the inside of our card and get it out of our way. That way we don't set anything on it and we don't lose it. How many people lose things on the top of their table? Sometimes I lose stuff that I think I'll never find again, and sometimes I don't find them for a few days. So the more I can put together on my card, the better off I am. So there we go. We've got that on the inside. We've got this on the outside. We're going to just move these out of the way a minute. I'm going to bring in my mini emboss machine, and I'm going to cut this little bird out. And the only reason why I didn't, I'm going to show you how easy the die is to use with cutting the bird. You know, some dies are easier to use than others. And I have always been notorious about not taping my dies down. But I have been trying to make it a note to myself to go ahead and put a piece. And I got some masking, it's Post-it note tape, and I ordered it from Amazon, and I just got this real thin. I think it's like 3/8 of an inch or something like that. And that way I can put that on here and just hold it down, but I gotta stand up so I can be taller than it, so I can see. So I'm just gonna put that there. I'm gonna add this over top. And we're going to shake the table for just a minute, but that's okay. There we go. We should be done. This little guy is such a handy little thing to have when you're doing small stuff. I leave my I have a place where my big Stampin' Cut and Bust machine stays out. And I typically use that if I'm just working on stuff in my craft room, but when I'm videotaping, if I can use the little one, I really like the little one. So here's my little die cut out. Isn't he the sweetest little bird? Just so sweet. And I'm going to put my bird die back with my dies. That way he doesn't come up missing. The next two things I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some scrap paper. And I've got my two circles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a blending brush, and I'm going to use the Pool Party ink. And I'm going to ink up my circles. So I'm just going to go around the edges. And I'm going to bring it probably a little more than 3/4 of an inch to the bottom. I'm going to leave some of that white show. And there that is. I'm not worried about if they match in color as far as darkness. And I did get a lot of darkness right there. So this one's going to be dark. And that's okay. I'm going to have to try to get that wiped out. But it's okay if it's not. So let's just rub on it a little bit. like cleaning your brush. And there we go. So, oh, actually I want that a little bit darker on the inside right there. So let's see if we can get that. It's a good way to clean your brush out. There we go. I wanted that just a little bit darker where my words are going to go. Okay, so there we are with that. And I'm going to bring in my stamp that says Hello Friend. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that with the Memento Black onto my smaller circle. So I'm just going to stamp straight down and straight up. I got one to hold on, but it's there. And there's my Hello Friend. You know, sometimes we get ourselves all caught up when we see a card that we see for inspiration and we like it. We want to do that kind of verbatim and just do it like we see it. And we have to tell ourselves that that card, when we mail it out, that person's not going to know what the other card looked like. So you don't have to worry if it doesn't look the same, if it's not colored the same, and a lot of things like that. We can't beat ourselves up over that. That's not good. So, okay, we have that done. So now let's take these two circles, and what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to glue those together. And I do like the contrast. See the contrast with my dark? It looks nice because we don't have these other ones here sitting there looking at them. So that's pretty good. And you know, my motto is there's no mistakes in stamping. It's always an embellishment opportunity. So, and I am going to turn that just a little bit so that my Hello Friend is just a little bit offset. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to decorate. And for time purposes, that's an extra little bird I had. Here is what we are using. Let's move all of this out of our way. We don't need all that. Here's my bow punch leaf. And then here's my other leaves that I had and my flowers. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to take my bow punch leaves, listen to me, leaves. And I'm going to cut this apart into two pieces. See, I just did this, and I'm going to put one piece up here. And I will put one piece down here. And my little bird will probably sit like right in here. So I will go ahead and glue this on. And actually, that was the back side. So we'll just turn that a little bit. So I'm going to want it actually like right there. Then I'm going to glue this piece. There again, I'm going to make sure I get it on the side that looks like it's the right side. It's funny how when you punch that, you feel like you got a right side and a wrong side. And that's going to go like right here. Then I'm going to take, and I'm not going to put this on, I just want to see where this is going to be, like right in the center here. And I'm going to take my piece with the two leaves, and I'm actually going to cut all of these little stems when I get ready to put these on. I'm going to cut them off just a little bit because I don't need that long stem there. My flowers are small, so that's all we need to do. And I'll just put a little dab of glue on each leaf. And I'm going to bring that down about like so. And I'm not actually making sure that everything is so-so. It doesn't have to be so-so. We're just flowers and leaves don't grow at specific angles and do specific things each time they grow. So if we're a little off, we're a little off, and it's okay. Okay, so this is going to go here, or basically close to there, I should say. I'm going to take this little leaf, and as you can see, I'm just putting barely a dot of glue. The more glue you put on there, the longer it's going to take to dry. The longer it takes to dry, the more movement you're going to have. So, you know, you see how even with that little bit of glue, I popped it back up, so I can just lay that down. And then I'm going to decide in a minute where I want the other my other leaf. I'm going to go ahead and glue my big flower down, and I'm just putting a dot of glue right in the center of that, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to glue it right here, kind of in the center of that, and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to push on it a minute, because I'm going to put a little jewel on the inside of that. I'm going to take my bird, and I've lost my dimensionals. Where are they sitting at? I've got some over here. These are bitty ones. Oh, let me get them to right here. Somewhere I have some. Well, guess what? I have pieces. Pieces will work. So let's just take a piece, and we'll put it right here on our bird. I use every bit of my dimensional strip up. The sides, everything. We do not throw anything away on those because it's money, right? So I'm going to put my bird right here. Okay, so I have him where I want him. And let me see, I'm going to take this little yellow flower, I think, and I'm going to put him right here at the base underneath his little feet, where his feet are. So I've got that. I'm going to put him. So I'm just kind of building my card where kind of randomly, I think. And then I think I'm going to put my little flower. I'm going to put him right down here. And then I have my little bitty 3-petal flower, and he can go, make sure I had enough glue on that, and he's going to go right here. So this looks nothing like the other card, but that's okay too. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, whoops, I'm going to put my last little leaf, because I was waiting to see where I wanted that. And I think I know where I want it. I just am such a random stamper, I guess. I'll take it and move it this way, because I want to put it like right in under here. Right there. So then I'm going to take this, and I got a little bit of glue right there, and I'm going to get that off in just a minute. In just a second. I am going to put dimensionals on the back, So what I'm going to do is just cut me some pieces again, like I did for the other. And I'm going to stand it up. Like so. And then I'm going to take and put my circles right here. Oh, that glue's gone. That's good. Save me having to work with it. Okay, now the last thing, well, there's two more things I'm going to do. First, I'm going to put my jewels onto my little flowers. And I'm using my take your pick tool. And then just putting those in the center of the petal pink flowers to give a little bit of bling. Have to have a little bit of bling. And then I'm going to take some linen thread just to add a little bit more dimension. I'm that dimension type of girl. So, and this stuff is really, really, really wanting to ball up. So let me get it going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece about, I doubled it, so I have a pretty long piece. And I'm going to take it on the edge of the table. I like to take it on the edge, and I'll just hold it and run it down the edge of the square edge of the table, because that will help get, see how much straighter that is? It was so curly. It was curly like this. And then after I did that on the table, it gets all of that little kinky curls out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my edges. I am going to take and make my bow like so. And then I'm going to hold these on each end like so. And I am going to make a circle, bring all of the pieces through on one end, make sure I get them all. I don't know if I did or not. Yep, I did. And then what I'm going to do with those is, let me make sure that's what I got here. I got something else in there. Let's try this again. Whoa, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm talking to my bow. Now I've done this and I've done this, and then why? Okay, let's pull this one. So I'm going to pull those really tight. Hold on to the bow pieces, and I'm going to cut off these edges. And I will take my bow and just kind of, my little pieces of my bow, and I'll just move them apart like I'm fluffing my bow. We'll just fluff that, and we will take and we'll put a glue dot onto the back of that. And what I like to do when I have small spaces, I roll that glue dot onto the back. And then I'm going to just adhere it to my card, to the back circle. Take my thumb and push in the center to make sure that that's really down. And there's my card. So that's all there is to that card. I've got to bring it down here where you can see it a little better. So there's our little bird, our flowers, and then we have a little bird on the inside, and you can write a sentiment in there, or you can put a happy birthday. You can put another sentiment in there of something that, you know, for whatever you're sending it for, which works out great. But that is my card for this week. I'm sorry it's late, but better late than never, you know. And I just need to get back onto a schedule with this since I'm giving up StreamYard. I had a terrible time with StreamYard with audio. And I just couldn't get it to work right. It worked right for a long time, and then when Facebook did their thing of changing things over, for some reason I could not get the audio to come back the right way. I had a lot of complaints about it and stuff, and everybody has said since I've gone back to the old way of not using StreamYard that everything sounds and looks so much better. So that's what I'm doing. And so just bear with me. I will be here. I'm not doing lives on Facebook, mainly because I don't have an exact time to set up for that. Eventually it might come to that, but right now I'm going to stick with my pre-recorded videos and just upload them on there for you to watch when you can see them. There's not a lot of chat that way. It makes it a lot nicer, except for my chatty self, and that I'm sorry about, but I do want to teach you how to make cards. I just don't want to get in here and put it together and not tell you what I'm doing. I will tell you, I do, if you've never been here before, I do make a PDF of all of my cards. I have a Facebook group called Stamp Crazy VIP, and you can join my Facebook group, and then over there in the file section, you can get the PDFs for my cards. They have a picture, or at least the newer ones do. The first year, or maybe the first 2 years I did videos, they don't have pictures. But I have a picture, I have the supply list, and I have the directions and all of my information on the PDF. You are more than welcome to go and take those PDFs and make cards for your own use. The only thing is, it is a PDF. I asked you not to change my information at the bottom. You can use it. You can promote it for yourself. You can do it for classes. I don't care. But I just ask that you keep my information on there, or at least give me credit for where you got this, okay? I would give credit where I got I got this from like 3 different cards, so I don't know where all I got it from, because when I know for sure, I give credit. So there we go. I have 3 different cards, and they all 3 look differently because mainly of the circles. All 3 look differently. So that's my cards, girls, and you guys, or girls and guys, you guys have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this, and be blessed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.